Hey, what up anyone is watching? This is View with Ice, the channel for anime and TV show related content. And in this video today, I will be highlighting some of the best showcases of power and just some of the best moments in Dragon Ball Z. Not Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball GT, and not Dragon Ball Super, only Dragon Ball Z. I think I'm gonna start this list off with Goku versus Napa. Napa was responsible for taking down the likes of Tien, Gohan, Krillin, and even Piccolo. He also easily survived Cao Cao blowing himself up, this just showing us that Napa was no weak opponent. He was reduced to simply being a warm-up for Goku for the ultimate fight against Vegeta. This was a very short fight with Goku flexing on Napa the entire time, even ignoring Napa at a certain point to go check on Gohan and Krillin, almost as if to say that Napa wasn't even a real threat in his eyes. The biggest showcase here was when Goku powered up and his power level went over 9,000, causing even Vegeta to be surprised to a point where he destroyed his own scouter because they didn't expect Goku to be that powerful. Goku even broke Nappa's back during the fight, but what impressed me the most here was his progression, because a year ago he couldn't even defeat Raditz, and Raditz was a lot weaker than Nappa, and here he was totally OP against the Saiyan. Frieza was the first major villain in the story. He was the one who was responsible for the destruction of planet Vegeta and the extinction of the Saiyan race. He was a major player that commanded legions and someone who the mighty prince of all Saiyans couldn't even touch. The thing about this fight is that Goku actually didn't stand a chance against Frieza, because even though Frieza was in his final form, he was still hiding his true ability. During this fight, Goku used Kaioken on a far higher level than when he fought Vegeta on Earth. He was using Kaioken times 10 to times 20 during this fight, but that still wasn't enough. You could even go as far as to say as Frieza was toying with Goku in his base form. But when Goku finally ascended to Super Saiyan, the entire complexion of the fight changed. Frieza even went to his highest power level, but Super Saiyan was still too much for him. Up next we have Trunks versus Goku. Now this wasn't actually a fight, just a small clash between Goku and Trunks, but it was still a great moment nonetheless. What made the moment so great is the fact that Goku defended himself with only one of his fingers against Trunks, who was Super Saiyan up with his sword. The same Trunks who just made quick work of two characters that could have easily taken down all of the other Z fighters. Goku has a lot of ridiculous and over-the-top flexes, but even though this one could be considered easily forgettable, it is definitely one of my favorites. This is probably the most ridiculous entry on this list, but it is one of the best displays of power by any character in this anime. Normally they could counter-attack like this, but Kid Buu's attack was too much for even Goku and Vegeta to handle. When Buu charged up the attack, it even put fear in both of Goku and Vegeta, something that you wouldn't easily see from them because they knew that there was nothing that they could do to stop that attack. The only thing they could do was flee. Kid Buu destroyed Earth and blew himself up in the process, but he had such an OP ability that he almost immediately regenerated and went on to destroy more planets. The only way Goku and Vegeta could stop Kid Buu's rampage was by powering up enough so he could sense their power and draw him in, because otherwise there would have been no end to his destruction. Goku going Super Saiyan 1 is easily one of the most iconic moments in all of anime, but his third transformation is my favorite transformation out of them all. I don't care if it's Super Saiyan 1, 2, 4, God, Blue, or Ultra Instinct, SSJ3 is my favorite. Super Saiyan 3 is definitely one of the worst forms for Goku because it has a lot of drawbacks, mainly because it drains so much ki, but it is Goku's most powerful form in DBZ. Charging up to this new level made the entire planet shake, even made the rest of the Z fighters worried about him destroying the planet, and that was just him powering up for the transformation alone. He wasn't even fighting yet. The transformation is essentially just Goku screaming for 5 minutes, but it is one of the most incredible 5-minute screaming sessions that you will ever find. I get goosebumps each and every time that I watch this scene. Next up we have one of the absolute best moments in the entire series. Now look, I'm gonna be honest, Dragon Ball was my biggest gateway into the anime world, and it is without a doubt one of the most iconic anime to ever exist, but it is not a great anime in terms of depth, story, or emotion, but this is one of the few moments that made me feel something. Vegeta decided to make the ultimate sacrifice to destroy Majin Buu. He used every last bit of his power and life force to take Buu with him. He was of course not successful due to Majin Buu's ability to regenerate, but it is still an impressive display of power nonetheless. Had it been any other enemy, they would have surely been destroyed. When the Ginyu Force was first introduced, they came across as a group of goofballs, but they were actually a very powerful group at that point in the story. Gohan and Krillin were easily defeated by this group, but what was more surprising was the fact that not even Vegeta could defeat them. Vegeta killed one of their members, but that was the weakest one in the group, but then the Prince of All Saiyans received an L. And that showed us that they were the real deal. That was of course before Goku arrived. On his way to Namek, Goku trained on the ship using gravity and emerged a new man upon his arrival to the planet. He then displayed his increase in power by quickly defeating the guy that Vegeta couldn't beat and then moving on to the other members. The biggest flex here was how Goku's speed improved. He was moving so fast at a certain point in the fight that the other two Ginyu Force members couldn't even touch him. It appeared as if their attacks went through his body, but in actuality he was just moving very fast where he stood that it looked like he was standing still. Frieza was a force to be reckoned with on planet Namek, and the only one who could really even touch him was Goku. And after he was defeated by the Saiyan, he was essentially brought back and made stronger than he was before with this new version of Mecha Frieza. And what happened next is easily one of the most disgusting moments in all of anime. He made his way to Earth accompanied by his father for revenge with his new upgraded self, and then proceeded to get killed almost instantly by Trunks. What makes this so worse is the fact that Trunks didn't only defeat Frieza, but he destroyed him, and then he even took down his father and everyone else that accompanied them to Earth, and he really made it look so effortless, as if Frieza and his father were just some random NPCs in a game. Next up we have Goku vs Vegeta. Vegeta was the stronger one in this fight, and it could be said that this was the only time Vegeta was stronger than Goku in DBZ. Goku learned the art of Kaioken during his training with King Kai, and although it was a technique that made him powerful, it was very taxing on the body and could only be used in small bursts. But since Vegeta was such a powerful opponent, Goku had no choice but to push himself to the absolute limit. The biggest showcase here was when Goku and Vegeta clashed, the Gallic Gun versus the Kamaya. Vegeta was on his way to destroy the planet, but Goku displayed his willpower and his resolve by going over his limits and using Kaioken times 4, winning the clash and nearly killing Vegeta. This wasn't the end of the fight, but it was definitely the biggest highlight of the battle. After training in the hyperbolic time chamber, all the Z fighters got stronger, but Gohan ascended to a new level, that being Super Saiyan 2. Before I even get to Cell, let's just talk about the mini cells, the Cell Juniors. They were enough to give every single one of the other fighters a tough time, even the likes of Piccolo, Trunks, Vegeta, and even Goku. But when Gohan finally transformed, he one-shotted each and every one of the Cell Juniors like it was nothing. He then proceeded to take on Cell like it was a walk in the park, an opponent his own father couldn't even defeat, and he made taking on this powerhouse look effortless. Even blowing back one of Cell's Kamayas that could have easily destroyed the planet with one of his own, and he made it look easy. Cell was essentially Yamcha in this first round. The only reason that Gohan didn't defeat Cell in the first round was because he was too overconfident in his ability, he was too arrogant. This is something that we always see from Goku, having the power to get the job done but playing around too much. But in the end, Gohan prevailed with a monstrous Kamehameha with only one hand that sent Cell to the Shadow Realm. He got a big assist from Vegeta at the end, but that's not taking anything away from how incredibly powerful Gohan was in this arc.